happy Friday. For our final special guest of the week, we have a message from Joan and her dogs.
Hey everybody, I miss you all so much. I'm going to show you how I harness my dog for a walk. And this black dog here is Nancy, and this is her pink harness. Jax needs to get out of the way. And it goes on her head like this. Pull her collar out. Clip it on this side and the other. And then she's ready for her walk. See y'all later. Bye.
Thanks, Joan. Your dogs are so cute, and I can't wait to meet them so soon. That is our special guest, heading straight into our devotion for the day. Today, we are talking about Jonah and the whale. So going from yesterday, we talked about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, our three favorite guys, to today. It's a long time after those guys. The Jewish people have moved back to their homeland, so that's good. They're still under foreign rule, but he kind of leaves them alone. So they're in their homeland, and God, during this time, has been calling prophets, and prophets are kind of like preachers or pastors. So he calls this prophet named Jonah to be a missionary to go to Nineveh. Word around the street was Nineveh was filled with really, really bad people. So we're going to learn a little bit more about what Jonah does and God's plan for Jonah's life. But first, we're going to go over to Emma for our theme, main idea, and verses.
Thank you, Sammy. Okay, so our theme is still the stories that built us. We're wrapping up that theme today. And then our main idea is Jonah and the whale. And our verse is from Jonah chapter 1, verses 9 through 12. Jonah answered, I am Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the land. The sailors were terrified when they heard this, for he had already told them he was running away from the Lord. Oh, why did you do it? They groaned. And since the storm was getting worse all the time, they asked him, What should we do to you to stop the storm? Throw me into the sea, Jonah said, and it will become calm again. I know that this terrible storm is all my fault. And that is our verse. Over to you, Sammy.
Yes, thank you, Emma. Emma's verses dropped us right into the middle of the story. So the Lord had called Jonah. He said, Jonah, you need to go to Nineveh. I've heard they're a wicked people and they need my judgment. And Jonah, in verse 3, it says Jonah got up and went the opposite direction to get away from the Lord. He bought a ticket on a ship, he went on board, and he went the opposite way. So the verses that Emma read was when he was on the ship and he had told the sailors, hey guys, like I'm running from the Lord, and this storm starts and it gets worse and worse and worse. And the sailors are like, Jonah, this is because you're running away from the Lord. And he says, you're right. Throw me over. Just toss me into the sea. And he ends up getting eaten by a fish, a really big fish. And while he's in this fish, he was there for 3 days and 3 nights. He has some real time to think and to pray. So he talks with the Lord. And again, the Lord says, right after the fish spits Jonah out, the Lord says, get up, go to Nineveh, and deliver the message I've given you. So he goes, and the end of Jonah, it says, the people of Nineveh believed God's message, and from the greatest to the least, they declared a fast and put on burlap to show their sorrow. So they had repented of their sins. So it all turns out exactly how God wanted it to, because God's plan always happens. There's nothing we can do that we just throw the plan off the rails and God says, you know what, they messed up too much. There's no way that this plan is going to happen. So that takes us straight to our question. This idea that God always has a plan for us. He has a plan for each and every person. His plan for Jonah was to use him to tell Nineveh that they needed to get right with God. So we want you to spend some time thinking about the fact that God has a plan for your life, and just think about how that feels, that there's nothing that you can do to mess up his plan. It will always happen. So pause the video and think about that right now. All right, thanks for taking some time to think about that question with us. We're going to go straight to our prayer for the day. Still focused on this fact that God has a plan. God's plan is amazing for your life. And we want you to take some time just to ask God to show you his plan. This does not mean that he'll say, yeah, here's the plan for your whole life. He might not reveal his plan for you today. It might not be this month. It might not be this year. But he has a plan for you, and it's important for us to always be seeking his plan. So spend some time today just asking God what his plan is for your life, and just spending some time talking with him. So pause the video, and for the next few minutes, talk to God about the plan he has for your life. All right, thanks for taking the time to listen to this devotion and to learn a little bit more about Jonah and the whale. We're going to go over to Emma for our invitation.
Yes, so today I wanted to make you guys aware of the Sonflower Book Club videos that we've been uploading to this channel. Our book club leader, Nancy, has very kindly chosen some books for us to read and put together some activities to go along with them. So we would like to invite you guys to check out those videos today, and they will be linked in the description below. We will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.
Bye, guys.
Bye.